It's time to go beyond Plus Ultra for more Boku no Hero Academia reviews.
I'm not going to correct you this time because I do, in fact, think this might be a Plus Ultra episode, as the villain side of things is not exactly, let's say, well represented.
Mm-hmm.
Feels a lot more mono y mono setup this time rather than just fucking the tide has yet to turn.
Yeah. This jumped around to like all the locations and
Yeah, was it like the first half was just straight up in a multiple locations
mm,
until we finally settled down
yeah.
into like Endeavor's spot?
Mm-hmm. And I did check as I normally do on the Boku no Hero wiki just to see like what chapters it covers, how much it covered, things like that. And this covered 2.5 episodes rather than the standard three. So
Chapters, you mean?
yes,
You
I
said
manipulate.
episodes.
Yes. This chapter covers 3 episodes. Oh
Oh
no.
man, that is a long chapter.
Yeah, but so maybe something happens at the end of three, or technically 2.5 more chapters that they felt it would have been a better cliffhanger to.
Because they also kind of like the first 3 minutes or so they recut like kind of recap what happened
Mhm.
in the last episode like almost fully. Like the most we get after that is just kind of like the other heroes around Shoto just like getting a rally to get back in the fight and take out the last of the remaining Nomu and villains there. And the news being passed on to the other groups that Dabi's been taken out. Although we do see that it seems like Dabi's still alive and breathing
Yeah, which
and has some weird blue glow in his chest a little bit,
it was
which I don't know if
purple.
anyone noticed. Was it purple? See.
Yeah. At least I thought it was purple.
Let's see here. Skipping through. Yeah, we got a lot of jump around. No, hold on. I got to back up further than I thought. I'm looking for that scene and I just can't seem to find it, and I don't know why.
Chapter 353 just starts with Burnin calling everybody that Dabi is defeated. So just the recap was probably added on to fill out the length.
Probably. But yeah, they give out the info that Dobby's been taken down. Good for them. Everybody starts rallying to get things taken care of.
Uh,
We get to see a bit of the Gaga and Tomakia area
yes.
with
With
what I think
Pinky
is
and
like the
Red Riot.
yeah. Uh, we also got the Ghost Girl and Mudman and the Grape Shot or whatever his name is, Mineta.
Wasn't he at another location? I could be
No, he's
wrong.
there. He's
Okay.
there with them. So yeah, they're over there, all excited that things are going well. We get some. I completely forget what the dude's name is, but the creepy dude with the laptop and shit is I
Uh,
think over the radio telling them about the whole split up situation.
Skeptic?
Skeptic, that's it. Telling the others about the whole split up situation and what had happened and what they had planned on. And they're all like, "It's not gonna matter. We're still gonna get him out of there."
And yeah, I would like to just retract something I said last week that I partially disagreed with you last time because you were saying why can't they bring in an ice hero to help Shudder with Dobby, and I was saying that I felt at this stage in the story it would be a little bit pointless to introduce an entirely new character, and they did that with the flower villain.
Hmm.
Yes, this was his first
I mean,
appearance.
I get it from the perspective of like, oh man, we can't take this away from Shoto. He needs to do this himself. I get that. But realistically, there should have been ice and water heroes there to help.
So,
If you actually want to take this guy on, you throw all of the like anti-element bullshit against him that you can. You use your fucking Pokemon types to as much advantage as possible.
so there is a very slim chance we might see additional heroes pop up in the final battle, but I will say it's unlikely. But now that there's a brand new villain popping up, surprising me, I'll be less surprised if there's another villain or hero that we've never seen before.
We also got to Sugar Rush and Tailman for fighting
Hmm.
over at the stadium. Don't really get to see a lot of what's going on there. Oh yeah, we also get to see Tape Man.
Yes.
Don't really see a lot of what's going on there. Really cut that one short. Go to the Sky Coffin with Bakugo being like, "Oh man, Todoroki did it. Good, he did a good. I'm happy about it." And then we cut away from that back to like you were talking about this new flower villain that's talking down to like Aoyama and Fat Gum, and is it just those two right now? Yeah, it seems like it's just those two right now, while the rest of the fighting's going on in the background. Don't know why he has a suit for pants.
I also found it hilarious that Fatgum thought he was an alien.
I mean, he talks like one. Basically threatens Aoyama to be like, anyone that that has, been a traitor to him, anyone that's double crossed him is just dead. And I'm one of his assassins.
Ah, merci.
Yep. And then just cut in front of the central hospital, where we get to see Spinner and his hulked out form, which we do find out is a second quirk. I just don't know if he will live long with two quirks. I don't think they're meant to handle more than one. Don't know what quirk it is.
I will say some variant of Gigantomachia's quirk.
I think he'd be way bigger at that point. Also, I think Gigantomachia is like part Nomu,
Oh.
because he has multiple. He's giant and he digs through the ground.
Oh yeah, he has like mole?
Something like that. He's got multiple quirks. At the very minimum, the doctor has like worked on him to become that thing. Like bioengineered his body to handle it. Spinner does not have that luxury as far as we know.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 quirks for Gigantomachia.
Mm-hmm.
Endurance, Pain Blocker, Gigantification, Mole, Fierce Gains, Energy Saver, and Dog.
That explains the loyalty then, is the dog, I bet.
So, is Spinner going to become the next Gigantomachia?
I don't think so, because again, I think Gigantomachia was worked on by the doctor. Spinner has not been.
Hmm.
I think Spinner's lifespan has been drastically shortened by having two quirks without that body work being done on him. Like, unless the doctor did something in the background that they're going to show us later, he probably won't live long. Otherwise, again, we'd see a lot more just double quirk shoved into random villains that All For One thought would be useful at some point or another.
So, will he die before the end of his section?
Potentially? We'll see. I mean, we don't know exactly what this quirk is. It would not shock me if he isn't beaten but dies because of the results of having those two quirks inside of him.
Okay.
So yeah, word gets out about Dabi. Spinner's not exactly happy about that and says it's not real. Can't be real. Kind of gives like an idolization flashback about Dabi and how he has all the things that Spinner doesn't, which is, oh man, Spinner, do you actually understand what Dabi is? Because I don't think you do. Dabi also turned down the potential like extra quirk, which honestly would make me wonder if his body would hold together at that point. Like right now, we know it's just those flames of like spite and rage that are holding him together. I'm curious if a secondary quirk would have just destroyed his body at that point.
So, with Dobby being alive, would you say the fight between Shoto and him will continue in, like, I don't know, a dozen chapters or maybe like 4 episodes?
It could. I just don't know whether or not, like, it could continue, or it could just be one of those things where they pull him out of there to use him again later as a retreat. It could be either or.
So, after Shiggy for one and Original for one are gone, Dabi will still be around, or will you say that Dabi will be before Shiggy and Original?
Oh, he's going to be before.
Okay.
Like, if we're asking what order of events are they, like, going to be fully defeated in, it's going to be before. I mean, the next question would also be, is All For One going to steal his quirk on the way out? Since he's still alive, he can still have it taken.
Oh.
Oh, this is way later. Okay, I found the scene now. I thought it was at the start. It's a way later here because we cut back to this where we see the glow, and yeah, it's like a purplish blue, which I don't know what that is because if it's a different color than his flames, it's darker for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means.
I have no idea. But cool. Now we cut back to Endeavor for the other half of the episode. And of course, we have All For One being all taunting, the realization that the mask is kind of like the thing that keeps All For One going due to, whatever respirator bullshit is going on in there.
I forget, when he was in the caves,
Yes.
did he have some sort of respirator system hooked up to him?
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He didn't have this mask on, but he had like the surgical stuff that he had taken with him from Tartarus.
So if they get off the mask, he's a lot less dangerous because he'll have trouble breathing or something?
That's kind of the theory. I'm curious if that's going to be the case or not. Or if that's just holding him back from doing worse shit. We found out Hawks hasn't fully recovered still. He's not as fast as he could be if he was in full, health. A lot more taunting of Endeavor, including the fact that, apparently that All For One found Toya's body, which he still doesn't explain how he did that and how he knew.
I will
Still
say,
feel like there's a spy in the family.
either that or I will say a quirk.
I feel like somebody would have had something set up at like the number 2 hero's house in case of some bullshit like that.
Well then, if there's a spy that's not within the family, wouldn't you say...
Unless it's a butler or something that we've never seen before. They do have a very big house.
Yes, but also, if there's a spy from outside the family, wouldn't Endeavor also know about that, being the number 2 at the time?
Again, I'm saying, I would think that there would be precautions in place in case of this kind of shit. If there's not, I feel like it's a writing mistake. Like there should be, given the shit that this place is like.
I mean,
like when you're constantly fighting people, right, as a hero, your family's going to be the obvious weakness that they're going to take advantage of.
Right.
The ones that aren't as strong as you are. Whether that's the children or your wife or, vice versa. Like, I'm sure if Mirko was married, her husband wouldn't be as strong as she is. It'd be hard to imagine someone that would keep up with her. But my point would be, you'd think there'd be precautions in place to keep that shit from happening.
I'm going to have to disagree with you on that. Because I am going to assume Mirko would prefer a mate to keep up with her. She would not do anybody who's, not as strong and as fast as her. That's just my guess.
I don't know. Opposites attract. I mean, we've seen what fucking Bakugo's parents are like.
Right.
We've got an example of that shit already.
I still find it funny that it's his mom who has the fiery temper.
Mm-hmm. But the point would still be, right? I find it hard to believe that in a society like this, that wouldn't be one of the first things that you would have like on lockdown. You don't want your like number 1, 2, or whatever heroes to be like shut down because of a hostage situation with their own children.
Or maybe, for all we know, because he's number 2, he does have some security.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Oh, that's one of
You'd
the.
think there would be something in place.
And maybe one of the security people is the spy?
If it's a person that's security, perhaps. Maybe someone within the police force. But at the same time, right? My point is still, how did he know Toya would be on the mountain that night? It would
Yeah.
have to be someone within the house.
I still have nothing.
That has been my argument the entire time. Someone has to be inside. I refuse to believe that there's just some random piece of equipment picking up their conversation that hasn't been discovered. I feel like that's a stupid idea, considering what this is about.
Yeah, I don't know. But I just don't feel it's one of the direct Todoroki family that is a spy.
Maybe, but it has to be someone within that household that would have overheard that shit. Not unless we're gonna find out that Toya had been like bugged by some All for One agent or some bullshit like that.
You know, it will probably never be explained, and then you'll get so mad.
I'm trying to understand whether or not I'd prefer it just being left alone or explained badly. I think I'd prefer it to just be ignored as just it's a thing that happened. Because if it's explained badly, it just makes it worse. Like, you know, in this case. That's not going to be the case for everything else, but in this case, I think that would be the better option.
Yeah.
It'll annoy me that it's not explained, but I don't have anything to shout at other than the void. If you give me something like of substance to shout at for it being stupid, I'm more than happy to scream about it all day and be angry. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
We get the taunting of like, you know, being there and shit.
So what
we
is
get
that slime barrier that
don't fucking know. Apparently it's supposed to absorb heat, at least
uh
somewhat, from
hard
what he was
flame
talking about.
fan?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it seems like Endeavor's flames kind of override it a little bit, since he said he was feeling the heat through it.
Yes, but he could not reflect it with impact recoil.
Because it's not impact.
Right.
It's not a physical punch.
And he doesn't have any sort of hyper regeneration, so if he gets hit with it, he's in trouble.
Mm-hmm. So we get to see like the drill mouth thing bite into Endeavor because Endeavor gets angry and isn't thinking straight and leaves himself open. And Endeavor starts falling to the ground.
Yeah.
And now we get to see that shock blast quirk. Except we got people coming to the rescue.
Tsukiyomi!
Yeah, the taxi. Followed by the real hero, Jiro, earphone jack.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Dark Shadow.
Nah. Tokiomi / Dark Shadow are just the taxi cab service. Jiro's the MVP here, man.
Are you sure?
I don't know. Who's gonna knock away those shock blasts? Oh, right. The earphone jack who's blasting it with sound.
Are those like mini microphones attached to the earphones?
Speakers, actually.
Oh, okay.
They are the speaker setup that she has, that she is just blasting her probably heartbeat if it's being worked the same way it was before as a sound wave.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Endeavor is coming to terms with him being a stupid moron.
While bleeding.
All bleeding. Luckily, apparently it has missed his lungs, so he'll at least be able to get back up. Who knows for how long before blood loss starts kicking in, but he'll be able to keep fighting in the short term.
I'm going to guess that he'll like fight through the pain and maybe I'm
I
not
mean, he could cauterize his own wound, I would think, so he could
right,
stop the bleeding.
right. I'm just wondering if at the end of this fight, will if he is still conscious, will he do an all might blood vomit then pass out?
It won't be as comedic, sadly.
Oh, okay.
I just don't think Endeavor has the face or the attitude to be that comedic about it.
Damn it.
But yeah, we cut back to the fight here. Hawks is like, "Get the fuck out of here," and then he's like, gets a talk back from Tsukiyomi, who's like, "Fuck you, I'm here for backup," and he's like, "Damn, he is a hero. He needs to help me." Meanwhile, All for One is all like, "All right, I'm getting tired of this shit. I gotta take care of this quick so I can meet up with Shiggy again." And we get to see Jiro kind of like dealing with All for One's like weird
Mouth?
heads. I don't know. I don't know what this quirk is, because it seems like he's expanding like that weird, like the weird fucking extension quirk he has, where he can like shoot out those red black spikes things. But then he also has like the mouth quirk popping out at the ends of those now.
Uh, if I could find it, I could tell you what it's called. No, I do not
They're just
see.
nameless then. But we get to see Hawks using his feathers to help Jiro dodge out of the way while she's separated from Tsukiyomi before landing back on top of him.
Yeah, like various unnamed quirks.
Yep. Hawks goes in for some slashes, does a little bit of damage, but not much. Jiro is like, "Oh fuck, this is what they were dealing with this whole time." And she's got like a little bit of a panic attack going on.
Man, it would be so much cooler if I was invisible now. He wouldn't even know where I am.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't, because you're sitting on the back of someone else.
Hey, maybe just the way you're leaning, he wouldn't know that you're there.
You can see the taxi. He'd still be aiming for the taxi either way.
You're right.
Tsukiyomi's taxi service. We thank you for your patronage.
Tokyomi's taxi service and Dark Shadow.
Tokyomi's Dark Shadow taxi service at your service.
Dark Shadow's the mascot.
Dark Shadow turns into the taxi.
For all we know, Toru could be there and she'll save the day again.
I'm not holding out any hope for that, because she does nothing.
Hey, she found the spy. And then you got so mad at me when she did.
Congrats! She did one little thing, which was not something she ever intended to do in the first place. It just kind of happened to her.
That you know about.
Anyway, we get big ol' blasty blast coming in on both of them. Hawks tries to move it, but is not quite able to move it quickly enough.
So
both Tsukiyomi and Jiro are clipped in the blast.
So how did his limb expand to that size? Because his arm grew like 10 times, 20
Unnamed
times.
quirk?
Yes? Or
unnamed multiple quirks?
that seems like a multiple quirk scenario about him.
Could be. Probably is. Either way, Jiro has now lost one of her earphone jacks, and she has lost part of her really cool jacket. I don't know where Tsukiyomi was hit.
Man,
and
if she was invisible, he wouldn't even know where to aim.
He'd aim at the fucking taxi. I don't know why you keep bringing this up. She's on a taxi.
But for all you know, she could be jumping through the air, diving towards him.
falling into the forest. He's also kind of got Hawks pinned down so he can't move. So I guess we need some burninating going on.
Yeah, summon Trogdor.
AKA Endeavor.
Endeavor.
Trogdever. Trogdever.
Endeavor, the Burninator.
So yeah, I do think this is something that is recoverable. Again, I don't know how Tsukiyomi was hit exactly, like where,
Mm-hmm.
but at least the damage we see on Jiro, she can recover from that. In fact, probably even get her earphone jack regrown. Just not now.
Recovery girl? Or...
I mean, surgery plus recovery girl,
Okay.
or, just time rewind from Aerie.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't tell. Like, I'm even looking at the shot with both of them there. It doesn't seem like Dark Shadow was really hit, but he's still bleeding. I don't see where he would have been hit. Like, for Jiro, it's pretty clear. It caught her, like just above her upper shoulder. So I don't know where Tsukiyomi got hit. And that's the end of the episode.
So it seems like we may be jumping back to the Shigi 1 fight.
Maybe?
There,
It seems more like we're sticking with Endeavor.
yeah. But I don't know what the Shigi 1 few seconds we saw is.
Like, maybe just a clip over of them talking to each other, but I don't know what their range for that is.
Yes. And we see that All For One's helmet does indeed get broken because he's smiling about something.
It's very true.
He's like, perfect. My helmet is broken. Now, all the power that was holding me back will now be unleashed. And Endeavor just looks at him. I say.
Endeavor's just like, okay. just the one punch man, okay.
I was actually going for the Japanese cut of it because in Japanese he says, I say. In English he says, okay.
I really think he needs to start asking about why there's this little lost child here. Who lost their child today?
Tsukiyomi was adorable.
Tsukiyomi was adorable?
Wait. Terrible Tornado. Tsubaki.
There you go.
Yes, I got her name.
I was gonna say, what did he do that was adorable in this?
Wait, then who is Oh yeah, Tsukiyomi is Dark Shadow's user.
Hero name.
Well, I'm going to say...
Oh my god, it's the power of an enemy stand.
Yes!
Quickly! So... Endeavor, you need to summon Magician's Red. Come on. Just imagine how much power you would have if you doubled each other's firepower. Do you think if Endeavor and Hawks did a fusion dance, we'd get Magician's Red?
Disco Inferno! That's the name of a fire stand for you.
Look, man, I'm just asking. Do you think if Hawks and Endeavor did the fusion dance, we'd get Magician's Red?
Maybe.
Do you think that would happen?
Maybe. But come back with us next time when we will
watch a man burn to death, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
I mean, that's the question. Does Endeavor sacrifice himself like fully for this one? We saw that almost happen with the Nomu at one point.
Right.
We gonna get the real thing here?
Laters.
Bye.